Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So I wanted to share with you guys uncovering some common problems in your hiring process and how to fix them. Um, because you guys know hiring is the most crucial part of this business. Finding employees is really what makes or breaks the business. Finding customers obviously is difficult, but not as difficult because there's, like I say, hundreds of thousands of possible clients in your city to get as a customer, but there is not 100,000 people to hire as an employee. There's maybe few thousand people that are really capable and that can fit this type of business that we run, right? So that's really why I wanted to share with you guys this this webinar. Um, Let me open up here my screen a little bit more. All right. Cool. So these are today's topics. Your hiring processes now and how it should look like in the future, uncovering the problems, of course, re-engineering your hiring process. Should you use an ATS or a CRM when hiring, and empower your office staff to do more without you? Why is this important? Because nowadays customers want everything yesterday, and your candidates are no different. As time changes, people are most accustomed to getting everything instantly on their phones, on their hands. Everything's moving so fast. Well, we need to understand that when we're hiring, we need to put in the perspective that we're dealing with a customer, not just an employee that we normally would treat them differently, and we will make them wait and then wait more until we have time to take care of them. Now things are different. Candidates are out there looking for the best jobs, the best positions, and if we want to get the best employees in the system working for us, then we need to change the speed. Let me type something here to Luis. All right, and they want to work for ambitious, fast-moving companies, and they will be put off by a dragging recruitment process. So typically, the companies that I've been advising and helping, with pipe hire, I've noticed that most people have very slow processes on hiring. They're making these like a 2-3 week process and basically just taking weeks to make a decision. And in reality, we need to be able to identify an applicant in the same day they apply. You need to know, yes, you're a fit for my company, or definitely you're not. So you need to be moving fast. And of course, when there's, when you're growing and there's more demand for the services, these applicants are applying in different companies, and whoever's calls them first for interview, they will get hired, especially when they're A players. And we've covered that in other webinars, how to identify A, B, and C players. So you need to really be moving fast. So that's why we need to be moving at the speed of light. Now, in the past, we used to be paper application, no process, all in our heads, slow to reply. We should, take weeks to make a decision. The owner really was a bottleneck. The candidates were not picky at all, and management was using whiteboard, paper, or spreadsheets to do the hiring process. Now, in the present day, in 2020, everything has to be online, has to be a process, a system in place. You gotta reply the same day or next day with yes or no, should I hire or not. We should take days. We shouldn't take days to make a decision. This should be really, a couple of days to make the decision. And oh, thank you, babe. And we need to have digital onboarding in process. So all the e-signing, everything that should be digital. Next thing, candidates are treated as customers. I really see them as talent, as people that are waiting for that great opportunity. I really believe that house cleaning technicians are hard to find, and they're special people. Not everybody can last doing this job for 5-10 years, cleaning homes every day. And I did this job myself when I started our company about when I was 21. I did it for 5 years. I was 26 when I stopped cleaning, and my bag was completely destroyed by that age because I was back doing the vacuuming and carrying the products, the supplies. And that helped me understand that if you have an employee that lasts with you 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, you can let them go. These are golden people. And, you know, if they still with you after 10 years, you need to take care of them. And so when you're hiring and you have this perspective that, you know, you're hiring people for the long run, you really need to take care of this with speed, with precision, and you need to be like a sniper, one of those that, you know, puts their aim in a place and then gets it. So the next step here is management with HR, with metrics, performance, and notifications. I used to manage my employees' metrics and performance all in my head, and I was thinking that I had control of, you know, these things. And then I started using a spreadsheet. But as you start to grow and you start to have 10, 15, 20 employees, there's a lot of things to track on. So we need to be tracking all these things in order to really be able to make decisions, because when you're meeting one-to-one with these employees, you can have everything in your head. And this happened to me a lot, that I was thinking that an employee was a very bad employee because I will only hear from my office staff, hey, such and such had this complaint, such and such didn't finish this. And when I went back and see the reality of comparing complaints against compliments, I've noticed that I was being biased, that my mind thought that this was a bad employee, but in reality, she was an amazing employee. The problem is that we are only hearing about the bad things. We're only speaking about the negative things. We're not highlighting the good things that employees do. So that is now in 2020 very important, that you're tracking both sides of the spectrum. Otherwise, you're gonna miss a lot on good employees. So what are the real warning signs that you need to uncover when on your hiring process? And I call it this, you manually are entering candidates into spreadsheet. If you're still doing that into spreadsheet or a whiteboard or in a notebook, those are warning signs that you need to re-engineer your hiring process. You still have to manually screen and vet every person yourself. Typically, when people apply on Indeed or Facebook or different methods, they tend to send us a resume, but in reality, resumes don't work for our industry because you don't really care much about study backgrounds and things that they did in the past. Obviously, work history is important, but you want to know if this person is fit to work in our industry, if they can be on their feet all day long, if they can be carrying products around, if they can drive from job to job, if they can work with pets, because they will work with pets, dogs, cats. I have crazy stories you wouldn't believe about pets, and they need to be okay working with them. So all of those things you have to be able to tell at the moment they apply if they are really a qualified person or not to work in this job. This is not a cashier's job that anybody can just work. this really takes a special kind of person. And I really believe, since I did this job myself and my wife, I really believe that house cleaning technicians are really special people. You can find them anywhere, so you need to treat them with care. Next up here is, you're taking too long to reply with a decision. As again, in the past slide I showed, people want quick responses, same applicants, same as clients. So we need to say yes or no, or some type of answer you need to give, but it's not professional anymore that we just let applicants don't know about their status. So you need to make sure you communicate that in your process. Another warning sign is that you haven't been able to grow. I hear a lot of companies mention, hey, business is picking up again. More leads are coming my way. I have more work. And I can't find fast enough people. I'm not good enough finding the great employees. One of my top technicians left because for some reason, and now I have all these subscribed clients hanging and I don't have enough people. So when you're constantly going through this list and that's your reality every day, that's where you need to re-engineer your process. This is really at the core, the most important thing you need to do in a cleaning business is to grow your business, and that is only done by hiring. When you're hiring people, you can get new customers. When you get new customers, you hire more people. And as I always talk about this balance, you have to grow this balance of customers, employees, and then the chicken and the egg question. You need first the employees before you have the clients. You need to have that good talent that will sustain those customers. If you have too little, not many employees, you cannot grow, because remember, we're selling the time of an employee to somebody that needs or doesn't have the time to clean their home. So that's really what we're doing, is selling people's time to other people that need the time, and we need to be able to train those people and send them their home. Also, you're wasting time in processes and workflows. I remember that when I started this business, most of the times I will just try to create a workflow in my mind of how I work, how would I hire somebody. But I noticed that the process of hiring becomes very about gut feelings. If I really think this person will work, if I really think that this will be a good person for my company, if this person will last in my company. And obviously that's important to keep in mind, but when it comes to hiring people and you're growing your business, you really need to have a standardized process, a system, a way for you to make that decision, or your manager to make that decision. And it cannot be just by gut feeling. That's important, but it's not scalable. You can grow a company on gut feeling only. You need to have somebody, a process that helps you determine that. If there's any questions, guys, feel free to jump anytime. So as you guys know, there's CRMs. That's a word that we use a lot for when we're talking to clients. And the term ATS is kind of like an equivalent for all the managing of an employee's relationship. So ATS really stands for Applicant Tracking System, and is designed, oops, there's a typo here, to automate, streamline, and improve the hiring process. How's it different from a CRM? A CRM is focused on clients, leads, opportunities, and managing the relationship with the client. It's important to have, of course. So I could say that a CRM is like, an ATS is like a CRM for your employees. So I want you to keep this term in mind. What are the benefits of an ATS? It accelerates the time to hire, normally about 83% of the time. Why? Because you're not going through all the applications manually. You are just going through, look at the people that really fit your business model. And this is what time to hire means here, is all the hours needed to recruit, onboard, resume scanning, interviewing, and communications. So if you think how many hours you spent recruiting, onboarding, scanning somebody's resume, interviewing, communications, training, it's a lot. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. So typically, you as an owner typically are wasting time calling and verifying past jobs, or you might be paying an office assistant to do the screening and calls. Let the ATS do it for you. Use that resource, in a better way. Oh gosh, there's too many typos today. Like building company culture, increasing retention of employees and clients. I've seen people that are hiring just another staff member of the office just to, hire people. In reality, you need to really hire somebody to help you grow the company, build the culture, retain more employees, retain more clients, and let the ATS do that for you. I found this quote from Annie Dillard. Says, how we spend our day is, of course, how we spend our lives. And it's so true. I mean, we spend so much time running our businesses that, we should focus on really building the business, not on the processes of the business. If you guys read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, was one of my favorite books I read about 10 years ago. It was really about building this system or business that will run in itself without your attention every single day. And, focus really your life more in achieving some, the primary goal, as he calls it. And this primary goal is to really, or the focus of this business was to really serve the owner of the business. So, I want you to put back yourself into that and say, okay, I need to build a business that really grows without me. And there's very few ways to make it happen. And thankfully, we have tools this day to make that happen. Okay, number 2 benefit of ATS is reduce cost to hire. What is the cost to hire means is really the total amount of money needed to recruit a new employee. I know in our company typically costs between $1,000 to $1,500 to hire a new person. I don't know if any of you have any numbers that you want to share. Maybe you can post it in the chat, but that is the typical more or less amount of money you need to retain or hire somebody. That includes providing them new equipment, tools, supplies, paying somebody to train, the money you spend on ads, the money you spend hiring, talking, meeting with these people. Now, if it's you, the owner, and you're probably, your hourly rate is probably $100 to $200 an hour. If you do it yourself, it's gonna cost more. Okay, Jackie posted here $1,000 for us. Yes, so right on the money, $1,500 to $1,000. Okay, good. When you're calculating your cost to hire, you need to put your owner's time or manager's office assistant salaries, advertising costs, and all the training tools and supplies. With many tasks being automated, less human hours to fill a position, your hiring process is more productive and cost efficient. Faster onboarding really means faster client growth. And that is one of my favorite things, is faster onboarding, faster client growth. We really sometimes don't think on that. We just think we need to get more clients and then we find employees, but it doesn't work that way. You have to find great employees to then find great customers. And that is something that I've noticed a lot of people think is, well, let me get a lot of clients and then I will find, a couple of employees to take care of them. And in reality, you have to have great employees to sustain great clients, because clients, as soon as your talent people or your most talented employees go, they tend to find another company or follow that employee. And it has happened to me. They end up saying, sorry, I have to cancel so and such, your employee is no longer with you. And it's heartbreaking because we're putting all this effort for them to really love our companies. But when an employee goes and they take that client, you know, obviously it's not legally, it's not correct for them to do that. But that shows us that we need to improve our process. We need to find better people. We need to have the next great employee ready for them. And what we tell them is, hey, look, you know, I know Susie is going, but I have Maria here. She's amazing too. She's trained the same process. The same manager hired her. She's gonna do an amazing job. Let me send her to you at no cost for one visit. If you don't like her, fine, but I'm sure you'll like her. So you can say, or you can claim those things when you really have a process in place, and you can know that I'm sure this customer will like Maria because my process is right on, it's correct, it's efficient, employees are being trained the same way. So, you know, you don't have to take the chance of leaving those customers go with your ex-employees. And them, they, you know, we fight that a lot in the past, but not anymore, because they know that they come to my company to get great work. No matter who we send, they know that we have a good process, and that is something that when you fix that, your retention increases and your churn reduces, because people trust your company, not the employee. And that is something that you need to, I will say, is like an armor, or a shield that you build around your company. So when people leave the company, the customer knows that they got it together. I can call them and they send me another great person. And that is something that you need to keep in mind. That's why it's so important to have this process in place. Cool. The next benefit is increased quality of hire. We really don't think about this that much, but the quality of the people that you find is very important, because that determines the retention of a customer. So quality of hire means the total value a new employee brings to a company with their performance. So, for example, a good example will be, you know, an employee that delivers a lot of value. It's a person that you send this customer, you send, you know, X amount of customers to this employee. They all stay. They don't leave. They don't ask for change. They don't ask for refunds. They don't ask for, can you send somebody else? Can you give me a discount? They don't, because their value, when they leave the door, leave the key under the mat, the customer is like, wow, amazing. She did an amazing job. No complaints here. And that is something that, you know, you can measure, and that helps you at the end to lower your turnover as well. When you have better employees, you lower turnover, higher retention of satisfied customers. You're gonna get better company reviews, better brand recognition, and of course, quality of life for the owner. It's my favorite. We are all building these businesses because we want quality of life. We probably got tired of corporate America or some other job, some other franchise. And you really need to have quality of hires so you can really take a break, take it easier, and really enjoy your business. Are there any questions so far, guys? Anybody has a question on these specific 3 values of an ATS? Nope. All right. Empower your office staff. Streamline all hiring using lead scoring. So what is lead scoring? Lead scoring is when you put a score to an applicant. Each applicant that comes your door should have a number attached to it. So we use a system of 10 points. Obviously, you can do more than 10 points, but typically 0 to 10 points helps you determine if a person should be moving forward in your next hiring process. I recommend that you have the questions that are the most important, the deal breakers, as I call them, have those with a score. That way, you know, when somebody didn't answer those questions correctly, then their score is lower. And then at that point, you can differentiate from an A, B, and C player. This is one of my, this is what really I started PipeHire, this product, because I needed a way to know who should I call or not. That was my initial idea. Should I call this person or not? Because my time was valuable, it's short, and I needed something that will tell me yes, no. All right. What else can you do when you can run background checks for you when you empower your staff to use an ATS. They can do that in a couple of clicks. You can be reminded of employee anniversaries and birthdays. This seems a bit obvious, but most of the times we're remembering, if so, maybe anniversaries, but most people are not tracking these well, because when the anniversary is, you remember the same day, you can't do anything about it, it's too late. Maybe you say, hey, thank you for your service. But if you want to build a company that lasts and has culture, you need to be able to be ahead of the game on anniversaries and birthdays. So that helps retain people, that allows people to feel appreciated. And, you know, for some reason, most people that clean houses haven't sometimes had a rough past, and they maybe never had a company that will say, hey, thank you for your service, hey, happy birthday. And when you make those little, you know, little seeds, or put those little seeds in the ground, those employees will feel appreciated, and they will tend to last longer in your company. I've seen it in my own company. We have employees for 10 years now. And it's really, I sometimes ask myself, how have you lasted so long being this job so hard? And they say, you know, it's just, I haven't found another place that will treat me like you guys, and I really believe in what you're doing. And, you know, they don't say they are making a lot of money. They don't say, well, I just love cleaning homes. They just say, you know, I feel that there's a culture here, I feel appreciated in this company, and that's why I'm here. And you know, who thought this will be so important? But it is very important. You want to track complaints and compliments to each of your employees. Why? Because complaints, it's what really makes you lose customers, less, you know, makes you lose revenue. But you need to also track compliments, because you need to let the employee know the good things they're doing. As I was saying in the past, we tend to focus on just the bad things they do, but we need to track the good things they do. It's like, you know, you have to track those things, those very important things. If you don't track those, in your head, you think this person is a good employee or a bad employee. It's hard. There's too many things to track, but these two things, for me, are the most important things you need to track on an employee. If you're not tracking that, you're missing on a lot of things. Plus, when you track complaints, you have to solve them. You have to mark them as solved, and you have to do it immediately, one or the next day if possible. But that will show the customer that you're a serious company and that you respond to it and you solve the problem. Remember, they're paying us to solve a problem. That's why they pay us. Obviously, cleaning the home is the problem, and we're the solution. We're a company that finds people to clean their homes. So you need to be the best on that specific thing. Finding people, solving the problem, and if it's not solved correctly, finding the solution. You know, at the very core, that's what we do in the cleaning service. Find people, cleaning homes, solve the problem. So What else? You can become, or I recommend that you, if you have an office staff person, that you let him become your HR manager without paying for a full-time HR manager. Why? Because full-time HR managers are expensive. Maid services sometimes don't have the resources to hire somebody fully for HR. We're not, large corporations with hundreds and hundreds of employees, but we still need the HR functions to happen. So that's why we built PipeHire, and that's the tool that is helping us change businesses around. I had, I think, 3 more slides. Yeah, right here. So I know some of you guys are using it already, some you don't. And PipeHire is really the applicant tracking system and HRM software for cleaning and janitorial companies. We have hiring funnels, so you can visualize the process easily. Free up your mind with organized applicants in the right stage. This is very important because when you're hiring people, they're in different stages, and you need to track which stage they are at, because you get 20 applications and then you end up with 2 or 3 that you want to really hire, maybe 1 that passes the training. So hiring, it's a funnel that you need to manage well. With this functionality that we have here on this to be interviewed stage, you can reduce the no-shows with SMS reminders to those scheduled for in-person interviews. You guys been there, you call somebody, say, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, they don't show up. That happens a lot. But when you have reminders on the appointment, then that's reduced. We have a form builder that allows you to, create forms that are, professional, that helps you score candidates, bilingual forms, English and Spanish forms. And you can also capture social security numbers and driver's license for background checks. I'm sure you guys, at this point, most of you have used a form to capture their information, but then you have to go into another system, run the background check, and kind of bring everything together. In PipeHire, everything's built in one place. And I dream of that when I was, starting my cleaning company, and we built it for our own company. And now it's available for other people to use. And it's amazing when you don't have to call the applicant, hey, give me your social, give me your driver's license. It's all built into the system. You click a button, and within 2 hours to 8 hours, you get most of the results back into the system, notifies you via email, and notifies you in the system. And that is amazing. That's really, in my opinion, one of the most valuable features of PipeHire. Some people told me, well, your background checks are expensive. They're $45 with the motor vehicle report. And I asked them, how much you're paying? They said, well, I'm paying $17 to $25 per background check. And I said, well, yeah, it's a lot cheaper, but they're not getting motor vehicle report. It shows you if they had suspended or active license, what kind of violations they have while driving. If they've been driving while intoxicated. You don't see any of those things with a $17 to $20 background check. Plus, these days, you need to check not just your county or the county where this person lived. You need to check the whole country. And you need to check if there's problems with their social security number. All of those things are built into the background checks that we offer. So, $20 difference, I wouldn't take a chance on a cheap background check if I know that the more information I have on an applicant really gives me the best decision when I'm hiring somebody. So that's my opinion on that. We have an employee dashboard that shows you birthdays, anniversaries, and the reminders for those. You can track attendance, and you can track complaints and compliments. Attendance tracking is one of the most overlooked things. Most people don't do it right, or they do it on a spreadsheet or on their head or on a whiteboard. But when you have a lot of employees, attendance becomes a real issue, because if somebody's not showing up, missing work, you have to reschedule clients, push clients, move clients, cancel clients constantly. And what's gonna create, that creates a problem in your company. So customers are gonna say, well, they clean okay, but they reschedule a lot. They have problems with staffing. So attendance tracking is vital for the business, and you will know that as you grow your business. We have a leaderboard. This leaderboard shows you your top employees from 0 to 5 rating. Why we have a leaderboard? A leaderboard tells you who is your top employees. This helps you run employee of the month programs, helps you when there's not too much work, helps your dispatcher know who should be prioritized. And unfortunately, we live in a world where everything's rated. Our companies are rated on Yelp, on Google, on all the different websites, and we need to rate our employees. That way we can make decisions based on facts, not just what we feel. So that is the leaderboard. One of my favorite things are the expired documents. Why we build this? I had a case where I had a great employee. She got into a car accident. Her car was her insurance was expired. She lost the case. It was her fault. So the insurance never paid for her car, and she was off from work like 2 months while she got a new car. This employee was completely full. They're scheduled 3 jobs a day, and now I was short on staff. What I had to do was just to change clients, move them around, lost clients, and I almost lost the employee. So I said, I need to find a way so my employees will never have an expired car insurance. So what we have built here is a reminder for all the important documents. This is the value of an ATS. It keeps everything in one place, doesn't let things fall through the cracks. And you will see as you grow your business that these things become more important and more important each day. So don't let that happen to you, and learn from our mistakes. I want to open up for some Q&As. If there are any questions that you might have about the software or about in general, running cleaning services, you might want to speak now. All right, let me see who's over here. Let me ask Tina. Hey, Tina, can you hear me? Are you there, Tina? Or what about, yeah?
I was muted.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right, good. I know you've been starting to use FiveHire recently. We've spoken several times on the phone and email.
Yes.
I want to hear if you have any questions or any comments, anything that will help us in the webinar.
No, I find it's working great. I've only had 2 applicants in there so far. We have to do a bit more advertising,
Okay.
I think. Yeah, so, but I just had her in there briefly. She didn't return the call, so I took her back out again.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Cool.
I think it's a great program, great software.
Good. All right. Let me say hi to Kevin. Kevin, are you there? Hey, Kevin. Can you hear us? Yeah. I can hear your mic in the background. Or I think your kids, but Just want to ask if you have any questions or, anything that you want to add or comment to the webinar.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, good. What are you using right now to manage your hiring process?
I'm currently not at a point where I'm hiring anyone at this point in time. Currently, I have a lawn business right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm totally opposite in a sense, but it's kind of it seems like it's kind of like a horizontal plan as far as how I can possibly scale out, though.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, good. Well, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
No problem. Maria is here. Maria from New Mexico. All right, let me say hi to Mates in a Music Row. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Juan.
Hey, sir, what's your name?
Wick, call me Wick.
Wake?
Wick, yeah.
Wake, hi, it's nice to meet you. How do you find about us, Wake?
I just heard from friends. I've seen you on seen you sometimes before.
Okay, cool. How are you finding value in these webinars?
Yes, it's pretty interesting. Yes.
Okay. And what's your current challenge on hiring?
All of it, a lot of it. I like how you're set up. I use Hire 27 currently. Still getting to know that. What really struck me about your website was the bilingual side of it. Learning more about it today opened my eyes a bit more to it, and I like it. I think I will give it a try.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, thank you for participating. And I don't know if Jamie's there too. And Jamie's one of actually our first ever user, Jamie and Jackie. And I wanted to ask you, you guys started on the very first day. What's new? How's been your process improved? Can you share a bit with the group?
Hi, Juan. Yeah, we've been using PipeHire for a few months now, and it's definitely great. It's been saving us a lot of time, and which is great. Like I mentioned in the comments there, my favorite feature in PipeHire is probably the lead scoring feature.
Okay.
How do I articulate it? We've really manipulated the scoring on the questions so that some of those showstopper questions that we ask, for example, the driver's license is absolutely essential that they have a driver's license. So we score that in using the negative scores so that it throws them right out of the running. So that's probably my favorite feature with PipeHire. But I think in terms of working with PipeHire as a company as a whole, like I know I've mentioned this before, but Juan and Louis are just fantastic to work with. We're a Canadian company, so when PipeHire launched, as Canadians, we needed a few tweaks to some of the fields, such as we needed provinces instead of states. We needed postal codes instead of zip codes. We needed, just small things like that. And we worked together one evening, and within a few hours, those changes that I had asked for were already implemented. So, I mean, working with like that, you just don't get that from other companies. I mean, you would typically have to open a support ticket, and they would send it to their engineers, and then they would send it to their man, and just a bunch of red tape, and you may or may not ever see those features ever again. I can throw out a name. Like at one time before we were using Maid, we were using T-sheets, and for a year I was sending T-sheets requests just like those ones. And after a year of not being implemented, we started looking around and ended up going with Maid in that case. But yeah, PipeHire is just like that. I mean, working with a team with Juan and Louis. It's just been fantastic.
Thank you. You know, and this is something that I found myself when I was using Java and other systems, that because sometimes they're not focused in a cleaning industry, they cannot customize much to our own business model. So Pipehire is really, you know, at the core started, and it is based on cleaning and janitorial services. And this allows us to really customize and fine tune to our specific industry. And that's something that I really haven't got from any other company that I work with using their software. They're like, you know, you're one in a million, and it's hard to really move them to do anything that really helps the businesses. And something that I share with my team is that, you know, no matter how big or large we get, but, you know, at the core, you need to listen to your users and implement, you know, the solutions that will give them, you know, value, save time, effort, so frustration, because we live in a world where we, you know, we're trying to remove the most frustrations from the process in our businesses, because there's too many frustrations already, and we just need to minimize. So I appreciate that a lot, and you guys been very amazing working with you too. I feel like I have some friends in Canada that I can talk anytime, and it's cool to see people that are, you know, loving what we're doing, and so thank you. All right, let me look over here. Abu, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Juan.
Hey, Abu, I know you started using the product too. Anything you want to mention, questions, or testimonial thing that has helped you with?
As someone mentioned before, I think it was Wick, I really love the bilingual application. I've been using Pipehire for a couple of months now. Some of the features I don't use yet. And I plan to start using those features a bit more. But the booking software that I use, which is launched 27, it kind of tracks customer complaints.
Okay.
Assuming the customer uses our review system. So at some point, I'm going to move that over to Pipehire to have it in one place. But yeah, I'm loving the product so far.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. I you know, I use Java scheduling system, and you know, if the issue with the feedback integrated into the scheduling system is that if the customer does not reply to that, then there's nowhere to put it in. So what we built was to really, you know, build like a huge funnel for all complaints and compliments, and we add Google reviews, Yelp reviews, calls, text via text, complaints via any way they come, because all that is really funneled into the score, and the leaderboard is affected on that for each employee. So we think that building this tool allows us to really capture all data from anywhere, because as you guys probably do in my business too, we get feedback from everywhere, not just one source, multiple sources. And I never had a tool to really track it all in one place. So that was kind of the main reason we built that. So, all right, are there any more questions or comments that I can help you guys answer? Thank you, Abu, for your participation. All right. Let me check here.
Hey,
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
How much is your product?
There's plans starting from 39 up to 149.
Okay.
It depends on the software or the package that you use. Normally, small companies, you know, 1, 2, 3 employees, small package is fine. If you're past 10 employees, I recommend the Pro plan, which really targeted to managing, complaints and compliments, leaderboard. There's more things to track, but it's pretty affordable. So that was it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. Would you give a more in-depth webinar on your product if needed be?
Yeah, I do offer one-on-one calls if you need to explaining it. And so I already have other webinars we've done explaining it, but if you need, a one-on-one call, more specific questions, sure, I will happy to jump on a call.
All right. Thank you, man.
Cool. No problem. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope this helps on your journey in building your cleaning service. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@PipeHeartHRM or follow us in our Facebook group. I think most of you are there. This Facebook group, we post, content related to Maid services. So let me share with you guys here in the chat. And hope to see you guys there. And email us if any questions, all right? Thank you and have a great and blessed night. Bye-bye.